What's good? It's your girl Amani Caesar.
Boy, Dre, they forever, baby.
Brian Reeves, Director 70 times 7.
Man, it's your boy, Artist.
The girl Tasia's name. Girl named Masam.
It's Young Spook, one half of Back in Business Podcast.
Era, the Gap 2 Diva.
Are you Milan? Here, Milan.
It's your girl, Flaming Gina.
This Auntie Pig.
Boy, Lou.
Ebony, aka Ebony with an I. I'm from the Big Head Radio Show, and I'm
With the King Teeth Network, huh?
What's good? It's King T from the King T Network, and I've been telling y'all that a collaboration is coming. I got my guy Johnny right, man. I got Johnny Filmworks himself right here, so you know I'm not lying. It's HWIC and the King T Network. We're coming together. I really want to bring more exposure to what they're doing. I mean, they're dropping movie after movie, like I drop interview, and we just want to be a part of that in any way we can. So we just are truly grateful for this opportunity. A 30-second trailer of the movies he's put out into my full-length interviews, and he thought it was a good idea. 8 different movies will be up on Tubi in 2024, by 2024. So you'll be seeing 8 different trailers. They'll be transitioning in, and we'll be doing different bloopers and different fun things in there, building this relationship with the different actors and actresses. Shout out to everyone that's been working hard, the crew. Shout out to all of y'all, HWIC, the family. Happy that we were able to bring this together and start this journey with us and keep this journey going for years to come. What's And we're back. It's the King T Network. We are here. Shout out to my boy Larry. Shout out to my boy S. Gordon, Black Box Studios. Thank you for having me. I have another amazing guest with me. Y'all gonna see a little clips of the stuff we did outside of here the first time we met. And we're gonna talk way more in depth about what he was actually doing and what he's going to be doing and his nonprofit, all of those great things. But we have Donny in the building. How are you, my guy?
I'm doing pretty good. And yourself?
I'm good. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
Of course. So we gotta go ahead and get it out. The logo is right here. It's on the chest. It's on the hat. What is it, and what is it about?
It's the Akron Baseball Project Incorporated. I'm CEO, Donny Brooks. Had a camp this year, August 13th, right before school started back up. It was an introductory camp to introduce baseball back into our community and to keep kids out of the streets. So that's a little bit about it right now.
So, you obviously like baseball.
Love it. Love it.
Now, I was a football guy, basketball guy. I dibbled and dabbled in baseball, but my father was heavy baseball.
Okay.
What draw you to baseball? What drew you to the game itself?
Well, that was my first sport that I played, age 4. Picked up the bat and ball. I loved it when I first hit the ball. I fell in love with the game. I played football. That was my second sport. I played from Pee Wee up into high school. Played soccer for about 3 to 4 years, but baseball, that was what I loved. I really did like football a lot, but when I was in middle school, I knew when I was like 12, 13 that this is meant for me. And I also wanted to be different because there wasn't a lot of baseball players in my community at that age that were excelling in baseball. It was more football and basketball.
So it took to you and you took to it.
Yes.
So in Akron, if we walked around a little bit here and there around them baseball diamonds, we may hear the history behind Donny.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
acting. Hey,
Like a little bit.
just a
bit.
little something, something.
A little something.
So how was it for you growing up in Akron?
Great. Born and raised my first 13 years. I'm originally from Channelwood.
Okay.
691 Calisovo Apartment C. Born there. Lived there my first 13 years. Then we moved to the west side by Bucktown High School when I was 13.
Yeah.
So I'm originally Southwest, and then my middle school, high school years west side.
Okay.
So that's where I learned a lot playing baseball. We used to play baseball in the oval, little stick ball, That's where it all started before we even started playing football. Everybody was playing baseball. And from there, I just stuck with it. The guy that I looked up to in the 90s was Ken Griffey Jr. himself.
Okay.
That was my guy. We're the same height. We're both lefties. The best swing in the game still to this day. And obviously, you have others, Barry Bonds and Sammy Sosa. They were great. Frank Thomas, Darryl Strawberry. The list goes on with African-American pro baseball players. But Ken Griffey Jr., he was my guy.
So, influenced by the greats.
Yes.
And baseball specifically is not a heavy African American sport, but
No.
we do have some legends.
Yes.
So you kind of took to their game early as far as just watching them,
Yes.
studying their game,
Yes.
trying to emulate some of the things they would do.
Yes.
Okay. I think, how hard was it to not go the route of football? Because it's so much easier,
It was.
so much more access.
Keeping the task at hand.
Mhm.
My main goal was to get out of, I'll say, the ghetto. And baseball was my ticket. It would have been more difficult when you have a lot of African American brothers in football because everybody's good. So somebody has to be good, great, something different. Not saying baseball was easier because I had to go outside of my neighborhood to other neighborhoods to show my skills. So two different, I feel like it's the same thing, but just different directions. But what kept me focused, like I said, man, I just love the bat and the ball and the glove, that leather, man. It was just something about it. My first year, I won MVP. So
Really?
my first year, I was 5 years old, 1996. That was the first time the team was the Little Arrows, West Akron Little League. Back then, that's when I think it was when they changed the name from the Canton Indians to the Arrows.
Oh.
Back in 97 or 98.
That's like when I was born.
So that's when they transferred the name. And then obviously in 2014, they changed it to the Rubber Ducks.
Okay.
Sold it to a guy in Jacksonville, Florida, changed the name, revamped it for the past 9 to 10 years now. But yeah, baseball was just my game. My nickname was Home Run.
Wow.
I used to always hit home runs.
Wow.
And then it became Home Run 32. That was my uniform number. I've always wore that since the age of 9.
Really?
So I stuck with it.
Why?
Well, people would say it's backwards of Jordan, 23-32, but that's where the process of me becoming good started. My original number was number 6.
Okay.
I had that my first couple years, and then 32, I just liked it, looked good, and then that's when I started to become better than my opponents. And then I ran with 32.
So you ran all the way to college with it.
Yes.
And even further than college.
Yes.
So take us to that time. Take us to getting the transition to going to college and getting a scholarship.
Yes.
And then take us to how you did in college.
University of Akron. Shout out to Coach Sable. He is a former Cincinnati Reds baseball player.
Wow.
He played back in the late 80s. He gave me an opportunity, and I went with it. My freshman year, I did not start. I had to learn, watch. My sophomore and junior year, I did start.
Wow.
And thank you. I was center field. That's when I got my height. Maybe I was like 6'3" when I was like 17. And then I had some pretty good hops. Not hops like basketball, but I had hops enough to go, to jump over a fence. So I had that, and then my length. College, I did really well. I played from 2010 to 2012, 13 year. Then I decided, like, hey, let me go out and try out for the major leagues.
And you can do that early.
Yes, it starts really when you're 17.
Wow.
Because if you turn 18 before you sign your contract, you're fine. My first pro tryout was for the Kansas City Royals. I was a senior in high school. I amazed everybody. You had to you had to hit 16 balls in batting practice. Short for that would be BP. And I was smacking each one. Every time you heard that ball hit the bat, it was like bing, bing, bing. Every time I got everyone's attention. They said I'm really good, but I still need some more developing. That's what they say. So I did that, and then I had a tryout for the Cincinnati Reds in Mentor, Ohio. That's real close to Cincinnati. I made front cover of CBS with a 60-yard dash.
Wow.
At the time, I was 210. I ran my 60 in less than 6 seconds. So that was really good for my height.
Absolutely.
And I was ahead of the pack there. And then that's when I got offered for a farm league team. That would be considered called the minor leagues.
Okay.
And then I was playing in Colorado Springs, Colorado for a couple years. And then came back home, had a tryout for San Francisco Giants, major league team. Then I made their farm league team, which is called the Richmond Flying Squirrels in Richmond, Virginia. Played out there, did really well until I tore my knee at the age of 25.
Really?
Yes. So had to move back home back in 2017 and end of 2017. So I've been back for the past 5 years, and I just been focusing on becoming a college, even pro baseball coach. And I've been moving my way up in the ranks of that. Started as a little league baseball coach. I was an assistant for West Akron at one point for a season. Then I became a head coach for Emmanuel Christian Academy.
Wow.
At the time, they didn't thank you. At the time, they didn't even have a baseball program. So I kind of was in the ear of the principal. They need to, get some baseball here. So we did good considering none of these kids played baseball in their lives, but we won one game up against a great team in Brinksville. So it shows that us as a people, if we put our minds to anything, we could be great. It takes dedication and focus. From there, I was a coach, assistant JV coach for Talmadge High School. I was the first African-American baseball coach at the high school for Talmadge. And then from there, I went to my old college, Akron U. The former coach was Coach Beals. He's no longer at Akron U now, but I was a walk-in. He gave me an opportunity to be an assistant analytics coach. So thank you. So that was my last coaching position from last baseball season. Now I'm in talks with Kent State to become an assistant player development coach, and also Firestone High School an assistant baseball coach. So I'm in talks right now for next season.
So your passion now is in coaching.
Yes.
And helping the kids.
Yes. And I always told myself when I was probably middle school, high school, once I got done playing the game, I wanted to be a coach.
Wow.
I thought about 40, but that was then. But I feel like a blessing in disguise, because the younger you are, I feel that you can have more relations with the players when you're younger.
Absolutely.
So when I was the analytics coach for Akron U last year, I was 30, going on 31. I just turned 32 last month. And they like, wow, he did it, step by step in that order. And I'm only, at the time, 31. And these guys are 21, 22, 23. So we're not far apart in age, but I did what they're trying to do. So it's more relatable, not someone that's been removed from the game 20 years.
Right.
It's kind of hard because times are different, and now they have these NIL deals now. Back when I was in college, they didn't have that, which I feel is really great, for the students, because now they get to get money outside of education.
So I want to stop you right there.
Yes.
They talk a lot about football and basketball, NILs, and the players specifically.
Yes.
Are there heavy hitters in the baseball college sport that have the evaluations that we're seeing from the Caleb Williams, from the Shador Sanders? Like, are there evaluations that high as well, or is it still needing more eyes to baseball?
I feel like
college baseball.
I feel like more eyes for college baseball when it comes to the Akron area.
But in general, like the country, I feel like they need just more eyes on baseball, period. I think so too.
I think more so up north, because down south, baseball is heavy.
Okay. See?
up north here, and it's
You
a
would
lot
know
of
that.
it's a lot of factors because of the weather
Absolutely.
and
History.
and then people, unfortunately, the cost.
Yeah.
Up
That's
here,
that's a real thing.
but people fail to realize that you can get all this equipment from used sports stores.
Yeah.
A lot of people, have their thing about used anything. I get it. But if you feel that your child, boy or girl, because you got softball and baseball,
You reusing them pads every year. Stop that. Every year you reusing them pads. Stop that. They get them sprayed like 3 times.
Yes.
They reuse. Don't do that. You better go get that equipment. It'd be quality equipment.
because I remember when I was a kid, I started out with used equipment,
Yeah.
and I never complained.
As you should, because you probably going to break it.
And my mom didn't invest until she knew that I was great. So I got my first pair of Ken Griffey Jr. Swingman cleats from Dick's at the age of 13. I loved them. I wore them out, but those were my first brand new pair. And at the time, they were like over $200, but they were great. I loved them. It was just great quality. Ken Griffey Jr. had his hand on the style of the shoe, or the cleat, I should say, like he did with his Ken Griffey Jr. Tennis shoes, the Air Maxes. And people know about those because they're a classic. But I just feel like up north, baseball can be a big hitter if people just don't look at the stigma. People may say, oh, it's this kind of sport, or, our people play this sport. But if you really look into the history of baseball, baseball and soccer is African sports. Football is an American sport. Yeah. We took it over as players, but we don't own it. Right. We don't own the NFL. Right. If you look at Ice Cube, he just owned the Big Baller 3. That's a now league now. Yeah. I think a few months ago where that was out there, but now it's kind of on the down low now. It's not as big as it was when they first said it. And it's a reason for that. Really? If think about it, I look at it as we have all these celebrities with money. Yeah, acting, music, sports. We can own our own leagues. Right. We could if everybody was to put in a percentage.
Because we have the celebrities. Yep.
And if every celebrity put in 1-2% of their money, we can have our own leagues. Yeah. But that's another topic for a different day.
But I think it takes an Ice Cube showing that you can create something.
Yes.
Own it, keep it, and it be successful.
I believe so too.
It takes the Coach Primes of the world.
Yes.
To bring the excitement back to college. So motherfuckers actually want to watch that, yes. And it's not just the old people and they analyzing football.
Right.
It's exciting to watch. Exciting to come to a game.
Yes.
You see Cedric the Entertainer.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? That's what a league like ours would be.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You seeing these. It looks like a Coach Prime game. It looks like the Big Three, but in their primes. You know what I'm saying? Because even the Big Three is amazing because they've retired, but they're still able to bring in crowds. And imagine having that at their prime. Crazy. It'd be different. But again, it takes investing. It takes partnership. It takes building together. Yes. It takes not agreeing, but still keeping the business.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I
agree. Get a lot of personal when we talk about us and business. We bring that personal side into it, and then we can't work. I'm not gonna make this a racist thing, but white people don't do that. They can hate their guts, but they're gonna make that billion. Yeah. They're gonna go make that billion together. Yes. And they're gonna go back to their family, and that's just
shake hands and take names on camera.
Come on. And at the end of the day, until we can get to that point where we can shake hands and go get this money for real, it'll be very hard to keep it together. Even if it starts, it'll be hard to keep it together because egos, cameras, that's half the reason why we can't have one right now. See, Ice Cube had to do it with him, and then you don't know nobody else under there that really own it.
Because he's the face.
Because he has to be the face, because if you put too many faces in front of it, them faces going to act like they, and then it's going to be these big heads, Dame Dash, Jay-Z type situations.
Right.
Can't have that. You got to keep it going. So, you bring up great topics, and you hit it but I want you to hit a little bit more.
Okay.
The access to baseball as a child, as a youth, as a high school athlete in Akron specifically. How do we get that better? How do you get more exposure to the game?
I feel like when it comes to that, nowadays, it's a little easier because you have social media.
Yeah.
We didn't have that growing up.
Right.
It was, our main source was the library, and then we didn't have cable, but we knew someone that had cable.
Facts.
So those were our only two outlets to get what we needed. And nowadays, kids don't really exercise the library because everything's on your phone.
Right.
So that takes a lot away. And then to find out different people, we read about it, in books, newspapers, which is old school today. Everything's on the app. So
Yep.
you don't need, paper and pencil. But I still believe that's still the best way to go.
Absolutely.
I still pick up a book when I need to.
Absolutely.
But to hit the main point, the access for baseball, talk to people. Like, for example, at my camp, I had myself, I had Marlon Somerville. He's now a firefighter for Akron firefighters, but he played Notre Dame as a black pitcher. And he's in his late 30s. He's not an elder, and it's talking to people that have excelled in the game. And I'm not saying, no offense to, the elders, but people in the 21st century, because I respect the Negro Leagues. I respect, the grandfather times. I do. But today is different than how it was 1955. At least for people that play from, 2000 to now, the past 20, 25 years, we still have, and that's the 21st century, we still have knowledge in today's time than what it was 80 years ago. So with that being said, like myself, I'm 32. I'm still in the game as a coach. And then I'm not that far removed as a player. They've added some new things different than when I played. Now they have an instant replay, which I believe is awesome. They should have had instant replay for baseball a long time ago, because football and basketball have had instant replays.
Right.
So I feel that's a positive in today's baseball world. But I feel like for Akron, contact me. Contact Marlon Somerville. People know of me. They know of him. And that's a start.
Yeah. Where can they find you?
You can find me on my Gmail, Donny Brooks32@gmail.com. Or you can find me at homerun, one word, homerunbrooks32@gmail.com as well. To email me about any question you have about the Akron Baseball Project. It's becoming its own league shortly. And I want it to be in-house. I'm in talks with making the Akron Baseball Project its own league within the next year, 2 years tops. I've been networking like crazy. I've been going to the Pee Wee football games, passing out my business cards. Coaches are like, yeah, we need them to be in something. In the summer is where a lot of stuff happens. If they're playing baseball, they can stay out of trouble. And baseball is a game where you need to practice. It's not, because if you're going to get better, you have to practice on it. You can't slow down. So that will stop them from having a lot of idle time as well, and keep these kids out of the streets. Yeah. We lost a lot of children this summer, and almost lost this summer with gun violence, gang activity, just foolish behavior. Ever since they had this gun law where that you can have a gun now without having, a permit, people have been going gun crazy. I want to change that, and not just me. Once I get a village, it takes a village. One person can't do it all, but I can be the start of that. Right. And so who knows? Akron is going to be known for baseball as well. That's my ultimate goal. Get these kids scholarships. Who knows? They may want to make it to the show one day. If not, at the very least, have it pay for the education.
Yeah.
And, because baseball is, like they say, 90% mental, 10% physical.
Wow.
So a lot of people think it's a slow game because it's a lot of brain power.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people would say the outfield, you're just standing out there, but you never know when that ball going to come to you.
Right.
Just because what you're not moving back and forth on every play, if you're caught
Mental.
slipping, then you miss that opportunity. So, you know, with football, the receivers have to run routes regardless, even if the ball's not going to them.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, and same with basketball. The ball cannot come to you, but you still have to set pick and rolls. You still have to set up, post ups. Baseball, you're just out there, but you still got to be ready for any kind of play. Because let's say with me, I'm a center fielder. I'm behind second base. The second baseman, the ball can be hit to him. He can miss it. I got to be aware to get that ball and get it into the infield. Yeah. So just because the ball didn't come directly to me, the second baseman, he can make a mistake, and I still got to pick up his slack. Yeah. So it's a lot of brain power in baseball. People just keep looking at, it's not running up and down. We got to get past that. Right. And look at the brains behind it. That's why baseball makes the most money. If you make it to the show. Yeah. You got people that sign from the minor leagues, their contracts, you're making $40,000 to $80,000 in the minor leagues, which is good money because they pay for your housing, they pay for all your utilities. So you're $80,000 with you not having to pay for your living, that's really good money. I don't care what time you're in with generation. $80,000 and not having to worry about your roof over your head, and then you have that money plus more money. $8,000 is good money, and then obviously that's an opportunity for the show where you're making the millions. You got people signing 10-year contracts, $500 million, $400 million guaranteed. Crazy money. And the thing is, people look at, why it's not for basketball and football, but if you think about it, if the players are making that much money, the owners are making crazy money. They're making triple times that. If they can give a player 10-year contract, $400 million guaranteed, and incentives for the other $100 million for one player.
They're making billions off you. Absolutely.
So
1,000%. Understanding the game of baseball, I think, is the most important thing.
Yes, it is.
Because people don't want to do things they don't understand.
That's true.
I know for a fact the game got funner once I understood the small things about baseball and understood why this is important, why that's important, why staying. But when you're 7 and people can't really hit that far, and you out there, it's like, it's hot.
Yep.
And then you get to looking around and
right.
trying to figure out why you out here.
That's how we lose it too.
Yep.
And then the kids don't have parents or people that play the game at a high level. Yep. So then they say, oh, go to football or basketball. There's a, and the thing is, when I was coming up, we had baseball fields on every corner. They're still there, but they're infested with prostitutes, gang activity, homeless people. But you don't see a homeless person at a football field. You don't see them at a basketball court at Hawkins basketball court, or So it's because Akron has been based off of football city, basketball city. Of course, LeBron, he made it out of here. He just got granted, I think, the most successful Ohio athlete ever this week.
As he should.
So, and then he revamped Lane Field basketball court, so he put a lot of money into the community when it comes to, what he thought was important. So my goal is to, once I make it that level, I want to put, to me, what's important.
It's called Get It Off Your Chest, and you have something specific you want to get off, so I'm going to let you do that real quick.
I wanted to let my wife know, Mrs. Brooks, that everybody doesn't know, but I have not been a good husband at all. We've been married for 2 years, July 3rd, day before the 4th of July, we've been married, so a little over 2 years. And the past 2 years, I haven't been the best. I've been disrespectful, rude. Once my Akron baseball part started taking off, I've gotten even more rude. And not letting my wife know how great she is, and attacking her verbally about past things, present things, current things, and it's not right of me, and it wasn't right of me, and I want to start over, and because without you, I can't be my best. I can be my best in areas, but as a whole, man, I can't be my best if I'm not being my best towards you. So I would like to say I apologize for my rude behavior towards you over the past 2 years, and I'm not looking back. I'm just looking forward, present, and the future, that I'm going to be the best husband that I can be for you, and show you more, not just telling you, but showing you my appreciation with you, with the kids, and and how hard you work and how you keep the house together. Those are things that I can't even fathom doing, because I'm focused on trying to get us out of, trying to get us out of a situation, but you're making sure things are held down at home. And I love you for that. And like I said, moving forward, it's not going to be like it was for the past. So I love you, baby.
I love that, man. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
For being vulnerable. This is the King Teeth Network. We out of here.